You've referred to it to me personally as the increase. What do you do with it? And for me, that's to trumpet as loud as fucking humanly possible ways in which to help other people. We rise by lifting others, which I think is a Rand Ingersoll quote. But these to me are core tenets within your life work that as an older, maybe more mature father and trader, I've been able to conceptualize and articulate. And we have based everything within this community based off of what I believe are the core tenets that you've provided us as a student body. So I appreciate all the flowers, but I still turn it and say very gratefully, with a lot of respect, thank you. And on behalf of the student body, bro, none of us would be here without your insights and your clarity and what you've been able to provide this global community. I mean, you're teaching third world folks, kids, how to have hope. Man, if that
It's
doesn't
very
deserve respect, I don't know what does, bro.
yeah, it's very overwhelming when like I wish I could have more time to be able to reply to everybody that sends things to me. Like I feel like I'm cheating them from the opportunity that they just want to have a moment to thank me. I see all of the notations. I see every comment. I see every thing that I open. But there's so many emails that I get every single day. Like it's at a pace and quantity that I can't. If I did it 18 hours a day nonstop, no breaks, I wouldn't even scratch the surface of the correspondence I get. And that's why I reply in blanket statements a lot, because a lot of it's the same thing. They just want to say thank you. And the way you thank me is turn your life around with it and then bless somebody else with it. That's how you do it. That's the currency here. I want to see other people be impacted on a positive with what you do with it. What you do with this, how do you bless somebody else with it? And I didn't have that mindset when I first started. I talked about this when we were having the interview, and I said it many times in the past as well. I was initially just wanting to get out of the rat race and not have to work the rest of my life. And then when I see how fast the market can pay out, it changed me. It turned me into a very greedy, self-centered person, which is what money can do to anyone. And you think it might not happen to you, and this is how I felt about it. But I turned into a very arrogant prick. Now, you think I'm arrogant now, but I am nothing compared to what I was when I was in my 20s. And it was disgusting, very offensive. And I wouldn't be able to tolerate myself today. Some of you probably can't tolerate me now, but it was very, very, very disgusting. And when I talk to my children, because that's who I'm really aiming at when I'm talking in the videos, and unless I'm specifically calling somebody out by name and I'm addressing something that I feel that they could use or whatnot. And I said this to my son Caleb last night. I said, I was listening to your Twitter space the other day. I said, yeah, which one? And he's like, this and that. And I said, yeah, I was thinking about your brother. When I'm talking, I'm talking about your brother. And I'm envisioning them in the room, and I'm trying to picture them sitting in front of me, and I'm counseling them. And many times I put the hat on as if I could be my own father and talk to my younger self. This is what I wish I would have had a dad tell me. And I didn't have that. My father, he's been in prison my entire life. I've not been able to have that type of connection with him. So as a child, I lived in a fantasy world that my dad would get out and marry my mom and everything would be happy and I'd have a normal childhood because I had to live vicariously through my friends' parents and being like a surrogate son and daughter and brother and father and mother kind of entity in that environment. I was attracted to that. And many of the friendships that I had were strong because I wanted to be part of that family fabric that they had. And I was envious of that. I didn't have it. So bringing up my children and wanting them to be in a position where if the Lord so decides that I got to go and he's calling me home, you know, I could have met with an untimely demise, you know, just like my son almost did. Again, it could still happen. Like this could be the last time I'm talking to his face. Nobody's promised tomorrow, but I try to leave these things down so my kids can hear me and they know I'm talking to them. And I get it that a lot of the students, and this is like the number one thing that I get as a response, and people send it to me through Trading View comments and whatnot. I feel like you're talking to me. Like when I'm listening to you talk, it feels like you're talking to me. And that rapport that we build together, I'm appreciative of. But in all honesty, I'm talking to my children. And because I'm talking to my children, everything I'm saying is all truth, all emotion. I'm 150% behind what I'm saying. And that's why sometimes I get emotional because I want them to succeed. And by default, because all of you have inclined your ear to the things I'm putting out there, you're giving me your time, which is invaluable. Like there's no price tag to put on that. Like no mentorship cost or fee, you know, could scratch the surface of you giving your weekend hours of listening to some man, you know, talk about things, and you glean from that what you should be doing in your own personal life. Like I'm a regular person. Like that's all I am, a regular person with a lot of various experience in doing things that I wasn't formally trained to do. Everything I learned in college, I don't even apply it. It's not applicable. I couldn't even get a job with it. The Lord said, no, this isn't where I want you. And I asked for the gift of teaching. And I still believe if he gives me more time here, I think I can improve as a teacher. But I don't feel I hit the mark yet. And I want to make lasting impressions on my children. And by default, for the folks that have an affinity for what it is that I try to do, I'm appreciative that they feel that rapport and that they resent with what it is I'm teaching and sharing, and appreciate the fact that I'm doing it where I don't have to. Like I don't have to do it, and I don't have to make known the things that I give out publicly. I don't have to give the personal things that go on in my family and what my children encounter and how they're wrestling with certain things and or what I wrestled through. You know, most people would have been too embarrassed to ever talk about some of the things I've brought up about myself. But I want you to understand that there's a real person that went through some of the things you may have not encountered yet. Or maybe you have gone through it and you felt that it was too overwhelming, so don't bother. And you just can't leave trading alone. You just come and you hang around people that talk about it, but you can't do it now because you're too scared. Now, I've been there. You know, I've been there. And my son Cameron, he went through a little bit of it, but he's back in there again. He's up $1,300 on one of his Express accounts. 3 days of winning, and I told him, I said, you just gotta stay at it, and don't keep swinging for the fences all the time. You can't do that. It's normal to try that. It's normal to have the desire to do that. But when you fail and you fall down, you know that's expected because you're trying to do more than that's necessary. And over time, you'll learn to have better footing. You'll know exactly how you stand when you throw that haymaker, and that way you don't get off balance. You're trying to do everything behind every single attempt, and you'll learn how to measure this at this activity level you're trying to produce for results. No book can teach you that. I can't articulate it, and even in videos or Twitter Spaces, that's the part that everybody has to work towards and get with their own experience doing it. And everybody that fights me on this and or asks how long is it going to take, or this takes too long to learn how to do it, it's frustrating because that's the individual that will quit before they get to that one little crossroad where they make the right decision and go one step further. And then now they're at that point where they'll never stop trying. And that's a necessary requirement in this industry, because it's so easy to convince yourself it's not worth it. And for a long time, everybody just thought that this stuff is contrived and nobody can be consistent. It can't be predictable. There isn't really any precision, and nobody else can learn it. It's just him doing some kind of magic trick. I have a legion of people all around the world, different walks of life, and they've come forward with their results, and they keep coming forward with their results. And it's in a manner where it can't be faked. And I'm so proud of all of you. I'm so proud of all of you that you've committed your time, effort. You've given up your weekends. You've given up your time in the evening when you come home from work or come home from school. You cram in every possible moment to study and observe and listen and take notes. All that stuff. For the folks that are seeing the results, in the beginning, they didn't think it was going to work. If they're going to be 100% honest with you, they were waiting for themselves to be met with the proof that it was not going to work for them. But for those individuals, they kept doing exactly what I said to keep doing, avoiding the things I told them to avoid. And it's hard. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of effort to stay with it. And you don't get cheerleaded. My wife still, she doesn't understand it, and she thinks it's trivial. Like, oh, it's a video game. It's not an impressive thing to me. She doesn't have the capability to understand the difficulty in what we do. It's not easy. Like, you're having to determine the future at a moment's instant. Right there, you have to decide, what's the future going to bring right now? Is it going to do this or is it going to do that? And if I don't do it right, it takes from me. It takes from me. So I have a vested interest in the outcome of this future prediction. Whereas you play a board game or you play a video game, okay, well, I can respawn. It's not a big deal. That guy may have taken me out in the game and may laugh at me, do some kind of taunt towards the end of the game, and I got to see that and witness it. But after that, you respawn, it's over. Who cares? You've done something. You're doing something new. You're distracted. In trading, we don't have that luxury, because when it takes something from you, you're in lack. You're underneath the water, and you have to get that back before real progress is seen again. And that difficulty is very intimidating in the beginning. And when you discover just how much you have to go through to really learn about yourself and what you have to overcome and meet and describe, this is what your process of going through this character flaw and overcoming it is going to require. Some of you won't want to do it. Some of you will have to fight kicking and screaming to get through that before you ever see any progress in trading. There's things that we have to beat up in us, conquer, subdue, overtake, hold captive. So that way it gives us time to grow outside of those natural tendencies to be human. We as humans, we live with certain attributes that are negative, but we don't associate them as negative because we've grown comfortable with what they are. It might be codependency. It might be staying in a relationship with someone that you know is absolutely toxic, and you're keeping yourself there because the effort and time and energy of making the change and the scariness of it, you're grown comfortable with that discomfort, and you call it normal. You call that normal. And in the beginning, it's normal for you to feel like it's not going to work for you and to doubt it. It's normal for you to feel like your results aren't worth staying with it because it's probably never going to get better than that. Or you don't do it well in the beginning and you don't see immediate gratification. I needed the very thing that I try to provide for all of you. I needed that, and I didn't have it. Through prayer, I believe I was ministered to through that and encouraged. But I wanted someone that I could tap into at least once a week. And because it's my nature to be like this, I'm obsessive. I try to be every day in your ears, every day reminding you, this is what you're looking for. This is what you're striving for. This is what you should be focusing on. Don't let this bother you. Keep your focus on this. Keep doing what you're doing. It's going to work. It's going to work every week, every day, and it won't stop. I believe it. I live it. But it has to be constantly reminded to you, even though you can't hit that yet, you will. You will. But you have to go through that progress, that uncomfortable valley where you just don't see where it's going to take you to the higher ground. How long do I got to stay down here? As long as it takes for you. And every single one of you have a journey that you have to walk. I can't walk it with you. You have to do it. Nobody else is going to make it a shorter journey. Nobody can shorten it for you. Okay. Nobody can make it any less painful. You're going to have to go through it. And I try not to sugarcoat that because I want my kids to understand if I was to be met with an untimely demise, that they hear me tell them, if you don't have me now, you have me telling you these things that are absolutely what I'd be telling you if I was still with you. And it all started on this idea that I watched the Michael Keaton movie, My Life. You know, he had a terminal illness and he said, well, I'm not going to be here when my kid's born. I'm not going to be able to raise him up. And I'm going to just make videos and talk about, hey, this is what we do. And this is what a dad would teach his kid if he was there. I'm going to do all these things. I'll do it in videos. That way, when you grow up, you can watch dad and he'll tell you exactly what he should be telling you if he was there. So because I had anxiety when I was younger, I was fearful I was going to check out early. And I was saying to myself, if I go and I don't make this known, I've been selfish with it. And I've not done a good job of sharing it. And I felt that if I did it in the context of teaching my children and making it available to other people that would be inclined to listen to it, you know, it was a social media experiment. Was there anybody else that I could create by doing this? Could I get another ICT out of that laboratory experiment? Could happen. Can I create profitable students going through the same thing that I went through when I released that content all the way back on Baby Pips? That order is the exact order I went through my journals. The things I went through, the things I focused on, the progress of everything, the order of the content in my core content. That's exactly the order of the importance I placed everything and how I discovered everything. Everything is a pattern of how it was revealed to me. It was absolutely 100% detailed in that order. And I'm waiting to see. That's why I tell all of you, I'm actively, sincerely interested in seeing who does what with it. And there's a lot of you that have done this. You've turned around, you've created mentorships. Some of you have rebranded and renamed the things that I've put out there and foolishly lied and said, I've done those things when I haven't done that. I'm not impressed with that. I'm not going to shoot you down because you need to eat and you probably have a family and whatnot, and that's fine. The folks that take the information and they do well with it and they go out and they find other people and help them. Yeah. I can tell you here and start crying. All the things that people around the world have been doing with what I've shown them how to do. They've built hospital wings with my name over them. And I don't deserve things like that.
You do though, buddy. I want to interject. I want you to know the impact, the global impact that you've had, and the fact that I have a voice. You do deserve it. And you might not see it, but I want you to know and I want you to feel how much love, appreciation, and respect you have for the increase that not only you have been provided, but that you've provided. You do deserve it, brother. You do. You deserve far more than that. Your impact is palpable on the lives of so many. And I want, and I'm blessed to be able to interject on the points that you're making. You do deserve it. And I want to stand on your shoulders and in your shadow as a student, trying to pick up what you've been putting down as just a humble follower. And I want to say with all my heart, brother, you do deserve it. You deserve every blessing that you get. And you've put yourself on Front Street. You've had these challenges, and they've done nothing but take you from this angelic cult-like figure to making you an extremely real ass motherfucker. And that realness is why so many people will drop what they're doing because you've got something to say. I want you to understand that the folks here all echo what I'm saying because it's important that you get to hear it. Not for adulation, not for any other reason than you do deserve wings and hospitals to be named after you. The increase that you have provided a global community, it feels divine, Michael. You need to know that as just a peer, as a friend, as a student, as another man, as a mere mortal.
Is it okay if I can say something real quick?
I think so.
So, I'm a 21-year-old man, and I live in Canada right now. I'm just trying to be human here and just speak my thoughts. In 2013, the war got really, really, really bad in Syria. I went through a lot. We were better because my dad was a doctor, but it was still just affecting all of us. Right near my house, there was tanks, explosions everywhere. My mom would go get some yogurt. 5 minutes later, she leaves the store, an explosion in the store. Everyone's dead in it, stuff like that. So we went through a lot. And in 2013, I came to Canada. We were the first family to come as a refugee. We were accepted and we came. My aunt was here. She was the one who took care of us. We struggled a lot. So we went through a lot. And it was funny because around like 2.5 years ago, it was like in this. So my family are they're Druze. It's a brand. I don't know if you know what that is. It's a branch from Muslims, but it's totally different beliefs. Well, not totally, but it's different. I never resonated with that, and I started finding Christ around 2.5 years ago, and it was so funny because in the same like 2 weeks where I was trying to find Christ, a Christian friend of mine gave me your name and your content, and I took it as of like that it was from God. This was from God proving himself to me, and I just put in work and it was all there. And I can come here and be thanking you about everything you're doing on the charts, but you already know all that. So I truly want to thank you for making me a better son to my parents. I want to thank you for making me a better brother to my siblings. I want to thank you for making me a better man to my girlfriend, because you changed my whole view on everything. And of course, most importantly, you got me so close to Christ, man. Like, you got me so close to him. It was like, I don't even know. And like the comfort I find in hearing you, man, like you don't understand the comfort. Like, I would have anxiety and I would just listen to you and it would all go away. All of it. Like, it would just fully go away when I hear your voice. You just gave me so much hope, so much confidence in myself. So I'm truly speaking out of my heart when I say thank you, and on behalf of everyone, thank you so much. And I don't know what you decide to do after November, but no matter what, we're going to miss you. And I promise you, because I know myself and I know my ability, I am going to make it. And I promise you that your work will go into good things. I will help people. I will help my family and help the poor people I don't know, because you taught us that we're all brothers and sisters and we all should be helping each other. So truly, truly, thank you for everything you have done, man. That's
Thank you.
Well said and well deserved.
Can I also say something?
Well deserved.
Sorry, kid.
Then, bro.
What do I do? Yeah, no, how are you doing,
Yeah.
Kit? Thank you so much for
First of
opening this
all,
up.
okay.
Just wanted to say it's quite ironic because you know all throughout my trading career, I started trading 5 years ago when I was 21, and throughout my trading career, I've heard this and that about ICT, people ICT this, ICT that. I never really looked into it, right? And it's just funny because last month or a couple months ago, I ran into Kit on the space, and I obviously, Kit, you remember I thought you were ICT, of course, right?
Yeah, I
Um,
know. I slapped that down. You know that.
because I didn't know about ICT, who ICT was. So it was just ironic. Kit was on that space and Kit, dropped some gems, well, a lot of gems, was very humble, down to earth, and that kind of opened my mind. I thought, wait a second, you know, these ICT guys are not really what I'm hearing from all these people. What you mentioned about them being a cult, them thinking they're the only kind of traders that are out there, this and that. So that was the first, real introduction I got to ICT, and the last couple months I've been doing a lot of studying on the concepts. Obviously, I'm nowhere near as advanced as most of the guys in here who have ICT in their name. And
TWP, is there anything you can do with your audio? Is there a
oh
way
shoot, I
you
got
can
my
improve it?
AirPods in. My,
Take out those
Is it better now?
fucking things. Oh my god.
Is it better now? Oh my.
Yes. Yeah. Fucking AirPods
Oh
are
shoot,
killing me,
yeah.
bro. All right,
My
go
fault.
ahead.
All right. Yeah, no, sorry. I'm traveling for soccer soon, so I was, listening to you guys while packing my stuff and everything. But anyway, so yeah. No, just to fast forward the story, yeah, listening to Kit first of all kind of got me an introduction to ICT. A few other guys showed me some videos. I started reading, studying the concepts. Like I said, I've been trading 5 years, but I never really understood how ICT worked, and then just to listen to you speak today, you're humble, you're empathetic, you're teaching us, you're open minded. It's funny because you're so down to earth and so approachable that I'm just so shocked that I never looked into it this much. And like I said, I'm grateful because what you mentioned is really true. What you addressed about the ICT community is really true because there's so much to learn, there's so much to do in the stock market, but it's so difficult to overcome your challenges, your losses, because in this day and age, you have all this social media which helps you, but it can also hold you back. When you have a spaces like this where people come, they share their thoughts, you see they have a similar mindset. For the beginner traders, that's a dream. When someone's so approachable and easy to talk to, someone possesses a warm, welcoming demeanor, it puts you at ease. So I'm happy that you're doing this. Like I said, I would have loved to have this when I started back. Because every failure we hit, we hit it on the head, and it can be detrimental to your trading journey if you're not, mentally tough, if you're not able to bounce back. But obviously it does shape you to become the best trader possible. But like I said, it's just it's so heartwarming to have someone who's so approachable, who's present in the moment, who's easy to listen to actively. And this is the kind of person you want to engage with. So, like I said, I'm just grateful that you're doing this for the community. As you mentioned, when you started trading, you didn't have all of this. Everyone has something, everyone has a lot to learn, but we sometimes we're looking for the right person to learn from. Sometimes we're looking for the person who's going to have the correct perspective, who shares the ideas in the right way. So no, I just want to thank you for being so down to earth, like I said, and regardless of how you trade, I'm way different to most of you traders because I trade what support and resistance, different price action market structure. So I'm still not an ICT trader, right? But you welcome me in the community. I'm learning from you. This week was one of my best weeks of this year. Again, I trade what I trade. It doesn't mean that it's wrong, it's right. The most important thing is that I'm disciplined, that I make money. So yeah, I'm just grateful. I'm just telling you that you coming up here, showing how self-aware you are, recognizing emotion, sharing your thoughts, your beliefs, all that stuff is so refreshing to hear. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you because this is my first interaction with you, the actual ICT, and of course I've been interacting with Kit a lot over the past few months. So yeah, thank you so much for everything, and hope everything goes well with your son as well. It's also interesting to hear from a son's perspective.
Thank you, TWP.
Can I
We
say
have
also
kind of
something?
intuitively opened up the floor. We are taking some of your thoughts and 2 cents. There's a lot of you guys here. We want to hear from you guys. The adulation is a thing. Again, let's respect it. And I understand it might be your first time having an opportunity to speak with the ICT or to be heard directly from the ICT. But understand this space and this forum, it's just about traders getting together, talking about life, and hanging out. So I really want to keep that perspective in line with where we're at. And as much as
I do.
What's that?
Yeah, I was gonna say I do have a question for Michael about the charts. If he would like to answer it, of course. I don't know if that was the topic we can go to.
We'll see if he wants to answer it or not. Otherwise,
Go ahead.
I'll.
Go ahead, you can.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So, in the past 6 months, obviously, I just even studied more and more, understood your concept, and it's not that I am not profitable at all, and it's not that my ability is not good. I'm getting there, but I understand liquidity very good. I said session liquidity very good now. I understand how the intraday, like the 1 minute, how it works before a run, how it takes out liquidity on both sides and stuff like that. I understand how PD arrays work and your timing of the sessions. I understand all that, and I love your silver bullet model. For some reason, I understand all that, and it's not that I don't make money, but I can't seem to put it all in one model for the silver bullet, like a written model. Is there a way you can go on that? I'm sure you've said it before, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I say this, but like, yeah, is there a way you could, when it comes to the sessions, the sessions liquidity, how it takes it out and put with the PD arrays and everything, to put it all into one model, the silver bullet?
If you were to take a approach like trying to figure out what's the highest probability for the direction of the week, and whatever those targets are you're aiming for the week, until they're met, until they're reached, you stay with